We are live. It is a Tuesday evening. That could mean only one thing. The UK Colts stable session is now in force, and we get to talk about an exciting football team again. My God, does it feel nice to talk about a team that, they don't have to win every game, but it's just the football summit. There's summit there. There's passion on the sidelines, which we haven't had in a long time, which we'll get into, I'm sure. But joining me back after gallivanting around Ireland, I believe, if I remember right, is my co-host as always, Robbie. How's it going, mate?
I feel like I've been everywhere. Last week was Mansfield, and then before that was the week before that I was in Ireland all week, and yeah, so it's nice to be home.
It's nice to be home, and talk about nice to be home. The Colts finally end the Lucas Oil Stadium curse, cold streak, whatever you want to call it, with I'm going to say it was a convincing win against the Titans. I haven't watched it back fully, but it felt convincing when I was watching it, and we will get right into it after this. And yeah, we are back. I think
We are, mate. Absolute technology issues right now. Like, I've got my laptop on, but I'm having to stream it through my phone because I don't know what's going on, and then my headphones just decided to connect to the laptop. And great to be home, as I said. So
just like the Colts.
You're Mr. Positive right now, aren't you?
Of course, mate. Sunday was a very excellent day for me, as I'm sure you're aware. It couldn't have gone any better. Obviously, well, it could have gone better. AR could have not got injured, but we'll get onto that. Let's get the negative stuff out of the way. And when I say negative, let's get the sloppy stuff from the game out the way. Start with my new best mate. A couple of years ago, I used to have a best mate called Matt Eberfleece. Now I've got a new best mate called Gus Bradley.
You were going off on one on Sunday.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy in the. Okay, he's got his scheme. I thought against the Rams he didn't use enough. I suppose my pet peeve with this, Robbie, is he's a very clever, and knowledgeable, and experienced coach, and sometimes he coaches like he doesn't have a clue what's going on, and that's what gets me up and saying, "Oh well, we hold Lamar to 20 points," which seems to have broken the Ravens, by the way. We hold teams to 20 points. He likes to hold teams. That's all well and good when your offense is firing and you can reach 20 points. But when you struggle and you don't reach 20 points, that's when I start to have a problem with that mentality.
Definitely very much of the. It's not as bad as Ephus. Ephus very much let them take the clock, and we used to give people a lot of yards. We used to just let people kind of walk on us at times, and I don't know if you're being too harsh, especially when we look at who's playing back there. We'll come on to like the individual in terms of like Zaire Franklin, and I'd say our main defensive leader is still working into game shape.
Yeah, maybe I was a tad harsh. Maybe I'm just scarred. I was getting PTSD flashbacks from all the.
I think that's it. I think the last 5 years have been that poor that it's a little bit like, are we going to throw it away? Are we going to throw it away? But if we're just taking this season, we're not doing that. We seem to be comeback kings.
We do. My last sort of negative on the defense is sort of what you were saying and alluded to is, Kenny Moore, Shaquille Leonard, These guys.
He needs to go back to Darius, doesn't he? Let's face it.
Yeah.
He hasn't been up to much cop since his turn to Shaq.
Yeah, these guys are not rookies anymore, and we can't give him. When they make rookie mistakes, like I believe it was Kenny who blowing the coverage against the Rams in overtime. Granted, it's not just a one possession game, but these guys can't be making them rookie mistakes. But yeah, that's enough of the negative from me.
I do have one more. I do have one more. The fact that DeAndre Hopkins managed to go another game against us with over 100 yards.
It's just it's so annoying. Like, even because it hurts even more because of the Texans rivalry.
So I mean, like he just always he's obviously not he's not in the TY kind of category of kind of owning the AFC South, but certainly he's got to have a shout in there for what he's done the last 9 years.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, so I haven't. This isn't really a negative because it's referee dependent. But I don't want to rant on too much because there's missed calls on both sides of the ball. All like every game in the NFL, you could get fans from opposing team saying missed holding call, missed face mask. We were doing it last week with the Rams, with Pittman's face mask in the end zone. It happened. My annoyance is games seen as, and this is not just NFL wide. This is sport wide. This is happening in the Premier League. It's going to be the top of the top. This is happening in the NFL. I'm sure it's happening in other sports. Games seem to be being dictated by referees rather than refereeing the game. They seem to be wanting to make an impact on the game when your job as a referee is not to make an impact.
I've always said with any sort of officiating, if they've had a good game if you don't know they're there.
That's the famous saying, right?
Yeah, if you don't know they're there, then you're laughing. But looking at their offense, they did move the ball a little bit, but they couldn't bloody run the ball, even with their star guy, Derrick Henry, who hasn't been up to much the last 2 or 3 years. He averaged for 3.5 yards.
I think it was 3.3 yards a carry,
something like that, and it's that just shows the run defense is there, but it's now just marrying up. But again, we're only in week 4, aren't we? Week 5.
Week 5,
3 and 2. Yeah, week 5. We don't need to have it all connected just yet.
No.
I said at the beginning of the season, we're giving them to week 4, now into week 5, and and there has been a massive progression on defense. Offense again, it's so stop-start because of injuries, which I'm sure we'll come on to. And certainly there's a couple of guys I'd like to give a special mention to on the offense.
Yeah, we'll get to them, and we'll get to individuals, stock rising, I'd say, stock falling, whatever. But my sort of the last point on this, because I don't want to kick the referees to death because they are human. But
they were shocking, mate. Like, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
They were shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way of saying the NFL standards of officiating is horrendous. It's a case of what are they seeing, and to make it worse, what are the commentators? We're there, we're watching it, we're messaging through the game, and it's a case of, well, that's holding, there's holding, and nothing gets called. I'm like, until they want us. But the fact that the commentator saying, "Oh, that's a great throw," but you can quite clearly see when people are being held, and they don't even commentate, they don't bring it up. So I don't know if there's just a massive conspiracy because it's entertainment over integrity.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, it does really wind me up, and it's ruining the game for me.
Yeah, I think the problem is, I mean, we'd all love to believe there's a conspiracy holding our team back, right? It's never the team's fault.
Never.
I think the problem is when you see these things happen, it only feeds into the conspiracies more.
Mm.
And they didn't help themselves in the sense that I think for me, and you said it is, at the minute, because of the rise of platforms like this and fan channels and fan cams and fan reactions, the mainstream medias have ex-players, which I've not got a problem with, that seem to be doing punditry and commentating, but they do it as fans, as a fan, and it doesn't seem to be neutral. I think two great people who are doing it well are the Manning brothers. They seem to be doing it well, but I love Pat. I love him, Pat McAfee, to as much as any Indianapolis Colt native could love Pat McAfee.
He's a corporate guy. He's a sellout.
Yeah, but but fans latch on to these people, and it's just a mess. It's a mess. The officiating is not good enough because, like you say, it's ruining the game slowly because the rest of it. Like for me, the problem was every flag on Sunday seemed to be at the last possible second. Like they're thinking about it. And rather than thinking, did I see what I see? They've gone, well, I'm just going to throw it anyway. And, we get away with that. We could go and get our group chat messages and expose some of us for our views, but
yeah, but that's where we're fans, though, aren't we? We're nothing but fans.
But even on occasion, we got lucky there. We we got away with one there. But these are guys who are meant to be the pinnacle. They're meant to be the best of the best, and even they sometimes, when you're watching them and they're doing all the little gestures and talking through the microphone, it seems like they can't be asked to be there. But that's enough of that. Time to get on to the thing that matters, and that's the Colts. That's the positives, the positivity train. Should we start with a bit of Minshew magic?
My guy.
Minshew magic, taking the Colts to the promised land, to the Super Bowl.
He's not looking bad, is he?
I've got one question for you.
Go on.
When, off-season and the draft, and we talked about the Colts finally having a mobile QB who could take us to the Super Bowl, did you think it'd be Gardner Minshew doing that with the spin move?
I mean, I think you go back to the summer when I was talking about Minshew. I think you'll find that I actually did say he is the future. Just putting it out there now. Go back, have a listen. Obviously saying it was tongue in cheek, but his problem before is he just lacked that consistency. He had a couple of good games and he dipped a couple of good games. He's come in. He hasn't had that pressure on his back as a starter.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens this week, I assume Richardson's going to be out. I haven't seen any. Oh, nothing's going to come out until tomorrow, maybe Thursday, is it?
No, I think it's probably looking about 4 weeks minimum.
Which is what it is what it is, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we've got when you've just gone and paid the running back, and the running back that hasn't been paid goes and off and runs 160 odd yards, that's where you win the game. I think it was that one of the last drives that we had took 7 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
That's so important. It's so important being able to just control that clock and control that ball. Which and from what we're seeing from Anthony Richardson, he'd make a rookie mistake, and then a couple of them throws to Josh Downs were phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so it's looking good.
Yeah. So the last injury update I heard was it's looking like a grade 3 sprain. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
It's broken.
But basically, 4 to 6 weeks is what it's looking like he's going to be out. I would say take longer. Let's not rush this back. He's 21. This isn't like a rookie quarterback who's 24, 25. This is a rookie quarterback who's 21. So take as long as you need. Don't try and be Superman. Don't try and come back early. because I feel comfortable with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And, I feel, obviously it feels better after a win. Of course it feels better after a win. But like I said to you earlier, that win felt comfortable. The last sort of once we hit that, was it a little underneath screen pass to Zach Moss and he run? And he got 10, 15 yards when we was backed up.
Yeah.
And I just thought that is what we need from a backup quarterback right now. Is we don't need him to try and muscle his way in. We don't need him to sink back and just be like, oh, well, I'm the backup. It's not my fault. He's just coming in and he's running the offense. He's letting Shane Steichen be Shane Steichen, which is nice. A comment from someone new to the group, Nathan, who is new to the UK Colts fans. No, he has to come back by Frankfurt for us travelling fans. Yes, Nathan is going out to Germany. He's a lucky one to watch Gardner Minshew win against the Patriots. I believe that game is, isn't it? Yeah. But no, welcome, Nathan. He is a new member of the UK Colts fans group. I'm sure people will welcome him, and he's going to be doing a lot of writing for us. I am working on the website. We've been very busy, but I am working on it, I promise. It's quick out. It's funny how quickly time goes. There we go. I got there in the end. But no, it's sort of like, okay, I love going back to Arsenal, my soccer team, of course I do, because we're good at the minute. Who doesn't when your team's good? But last year, when Saliba got injured and Rob Holding had to come in, it was disastrous. You knew you weren't winning the league anymore. But now, when somebody gets injured, we got the depth there, and that I feel like we can run our game plan still if Minshew comes in.
I get what you're saying, but as I said, Minshew's been so up and down in his career that I think we'll still be very, very heavily relying on the run game.
Yeah.
Especially against the Jags next week. We obviously want Richardson, and we want him to get that game experience as early as possible to get them kind of rookie mistakes out of the way. But when you look at the momentum from when Richardson was actually rolling to when Minshew coming in, it wasn't exactly flawless, but it looked good against I know the Titans aren't firing yet, but the Titans always have a very good defense. And they're usually very, very good at that pressure. Which and Minshew, he did really well. He only had, I think it was, I had a little look earlier. I think it was like 15 attempts. I think he completed 10 or 11 of them, which it's average, but he just kept the ball rolling. But what I like to see is the way they just kept going with Zach Moss as the hot hand. While he's the hot hand, just keep going. And some of his runs were absolutely, you got to give credit to the O-line for making some of them gaps. But one or two of them gaps, it was like he ain't getting through there, and he just managed to find that second, third gear to get himself through it. And it's been a long time since I know we've had Jonathan Taylor, but someone a little small back like that's just weaves in and out for fun.
If I had an hour-long compilation of a dog video just barking madly, I would play it because Zach Moss is a dog, man. I love this man. It's my birthday soon, so I think I might have to get a Zach Moss jersey. 161 total yards and 2 rushing touchdowns?
165. But again, I wouldn't waste your money, mate, because because we've paid Taylor that he's going to have to start getting more reps. Admittedly, he's just come back from an injury, so it's going to take him a little while. But while Zach Moss is like this, they can't go to Taylor more regularly, because if the O-line's working with Moss that well, just keep it rolling, just keep it going.
And what I like about Zach Moss is he's a tough runner. Like, he is not I said this, I think I said it a few weeks ago. I can't remember if it was last week, but he reminds me of Frank Gore in the way he runs. It looks like it's going to be a 0-yard play, and he makes it a 3-yard play.
Yeah.
A 3-yard play, he makes a 7-yard play. he can take that contact and fall forward. And that is really important for a team like the Colts, who's, let's be real, has a banged up O line, has a quarterback for the next 4 to 8 weeks who's not who's not an elite level quarterback, so it's going to be run heavy. And also what he's done is allowed Jonathan Taylor to pretty much have another week off. All the reps he's taking and doing well at is another rep Jonathan Taylor doesn't have to take while he's not 100%. Of course, Mikey's here. Mikey always shows up. Moss did really well. JT, I think, was on snap count yet, so he's back in. But we'll probably more shared carries between them. Yeah, I think so. I think that's right as well. I think don't go away from the hot hand, like you say, which we saw all too much with Frank Wright's offenses. He would seem to go away from what was working. But Shane Steichen's like, nah, come on, let's go. Up, go again, up, go again. And, it felt good to have a run first offense work really well when Anthony Richardson goes out, when I think the Titans fired back pretty much straight away, didn't they? I can't remember how exactly the scoring went. When we needed the yards, the running unit got it, and that's all I can say about the run team. Is it was a good display
for us. That kind of, I think they got 10 points in the third quarter that, let it down a little bit, but it was good. And when you factor in that, we didn't our running game week 1. I think we had, was it Deion Jackson, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was Anthony Richardson's first game. Yes, Jacksonville beat us by 10 points, wasn't it? But I think they scored down in the fourth quarter, whereas I think, we will be our 6th game, so there should be a little bit more there. And I see no reason why at the end of come Sunday, we're top of the AFC South.
Yeah, the most competitive division in football. Let's talk about some of Josh Downs. Fantastic game for him. Still not a 100-yarder for the Colts. It'll be nice when we finally get a 100-yarder game for a wide receiver. I think he was about 93 yards or something like that. But
I'm just bringing it up now.
For his size, Josh Downs,
97 yards, 6 receptions.
Yeah. For his size, he can catch in traffic, which I was quite surprised at. I think it was last week versus the Rams, he caught one in big hit. This week he did it again, and when we got him in the draft, I was like, okay, a nice little slot guy, speedy, small, elusive, sort of like thinking T.Y. Hilton is what they're going for. Obviously, I'm not making the comparison. It's just you're looking for that slot receiver who can go unnoticed, and he's coming up and making the plays. Like the 3rd round we got him, I believe.
Yeah. I'm actually just looking at the stats now from Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He was only targeted 6 times and got 6 receptions. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, that's just, it's simple maths, isn't it? It's football. Like if you catch the ball every time it's thrown at you, you're gonna win games.
What's your think on Alec Pierce?
Yeah, I sort of want to say he doesn't really fit the team. And I don't want to say he's a bad receiver. I don't think he is. I think he's actually a really good receiver. I think he's hidden away a little bit because I don't know what it is, but it's okay when you're a rookie to sort of fade away into the background a bit, and when there's other wide receivers around you. But he is a starting wide receiver now. I need him to start being louder, and I don't mean making touchdown catches or, being the guy. I just need him to be more of a personality. I get there was it the one against the Rams, which he made a very good catch and we got 50 yards for pass interference. I think he's a good player. He just needs to, I'm sort of looking at it thinking, what's going to be the game he's going to grab by the scruff of the neck and go, this is my game. I'm making this my win.
Yeah, and he hasn't had that yet this season.
It's like
in and out, but he does a lot of. Obviously Josh Downs the last couple of weeks has been very, very good. But yeah, Alec Pierce is the one. Hopefully, the chance, because when you've got three people that they've got to start thinking about, it opens up everything.
Yeah, I think Pittman had it. Then he had his game against. Was it a Storm in? I can't remember, San Francisco, that game.
One of them, yeah, that sounded like one of the marketing things that got brought up.
Yeah, he had a big game there and made some good catches.
But overall, though, looking at, again, it's only small sample size, being 5 games, but comparing it to Frank Reich to now, at least it's not as vanilla, it's not as bland, it's not as grey. It's there are some spicy elements to this offense.
Yeah, I'll just get to Nathan's comment before I reply to. Glad you mentioned Pierce. How would you guys feel if AP was included in a trade package for a new weapon?
What do we need? Other than the tight end room, I'm still not happy with the tight end room. I know we've had, a couple of guys catching Ogletree, but I still think we're missing that. We are missing that tight end weapon, that Jack Doyle. I still go to sleep thinking of Jack every night. Wake up every morning with Jack. I'm there having a nice, autumnal walk in the sun, thinking about Jack.
Jack, Andrew, and TY.
I need a Jack Doyle replacement in my life very soon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Nathan, obviously you put that question. Who are you thinking there? Because for me, Adam Thielen would have been a lovely addition, but obviously he went to the Panthers. So yeah, Nathan, just wondered who you're thinking. And I did bring up Frank Reich for a reason, Harrison.
Yes, go on.
Have you seen the Panthers' record so far this season?
I've not. Is it?
So pre-season, they lost all 3 games.
Yeah.
The first one being a 27-0 loss to the Jets.
Yeah.
This season, they've had Atlanta, New Orleans, Seattle, Minnesota, who are bottom of the group, and Detroit. They have not won a single game this year.
That's rough, man. That's rough. I'm gonna say I watched a clip, so I don't know what context it was in, of Frank Reich's press conference. Talking about that. Yeah, talking about the owner or something. I just want to say, it's one of those things, right? We have our gripes with Frank Reich, but he did really well to steady the ship for the Colts. Now, he was never going to take us to the Super Bowl. He might have got us in a championship at one point, but he was never going to take us to a Super Bowl, like, if we're being real. It ended ugly in Indianapolis is probably the only way to say it. A lot of people called for Jim Irsay's head and Chris Ballard's head after that. Just get to Nathan's comment before I carry on. I've seen some rumours of Terry McLaurin and Jerry Jeudy. Indy did homework on both of this off-season. Pierce could... I mean, I wouldn't say no to Jerry Jeudy. I don't really know enough of Terry McLaurin, I will say. But yeah, Jerry Jeudy, I wouldn't say no, but yeah, sorry, I'm getting lost in my own conversation there. I really want it to work out for Frank Reich in Carolina because he is a nice guy. He did a lot of good for the Colts and the Colts community. And and I will say to Panthers fans, not that any Panthers fans are going to be watching this, but he will steady the shit for you. You've got to be real. Like, where have the Carolina Panthers been the past 15 years? You just disappeared then. Magic.
God,
But yeah, my sort of point with Frank Reich is Carolina have got to give him time to just steady the ship. But I don't think he's gonna, like you said, he's a vanilla appointment, isn't he? It's like drafting Will Levis at 4th overall. It would have been a vanilla pick.
They do have a quarterback room. It's so familiar having a finished older quarterback in the room, and yeah, just you got to feel for the guys.
Yeah, and yeah,
and while it's so sunny over here, again, it's only early season, but it is sunny for now.
I mean, but more to your point of the vanilla offense, yeah. So what I've really liked this season is you know how I measure a coach, Robbie. If I can sit there and break down the play you are about to run pre-snap, then it's not good enough, because that means the opposition coach can definitely break down what you're about to do. I've got to say, Shane Steichen and some of the time Gus Bradley have really surprised me with disguise plays, disguise scrimmages, disguise blitzes. I really liked I think it was the 2-point attempt and the touchdown, or it might have been both touchdowns against the Rams, where we did the little run around quarterback draw and then the run around quarterback pass to Pittman. Fantastic design, and it's a breath of fresh air, right? Just seeing Shane Steichen, he's on the sideline with a purpose. It feels like he wants to be in the game.
But when you got a choice, we got a chance of taking points at the end of the half. Ball up between the posts. Let's not prat around. Try yards to get another set.
If you had Jack Doyle, yeah, I'd say do it.
But you got like 5 seconds on the clock, or like it's something really small. Why are you trying to get more downs? Just kick.
Yeah.
Just get the 3 points, man, and just. But I guess naivety, we can do this. But there seems to be this trend of going for a lot more 4th downs in the NFL, and trying to get the 7 instead of the 3, and just like sometimes you just need to be a little bit more conservative and just take what's given to you at times.
And I suppose it comes down to, I'm trying to get away from the soccer analogies and the soccer comparisons, because this is an American football podcast. But Arsenal, I didn't want to just push this in there, but obviously we.
Right. You're on a scumbag rant today, ain't you?
Yeah, we beat City, but if you watch that game, that was a game for the footballing purist. It was a very good talent on talent tactical chess match, and we came out on top. Luckily, but we came out on top. A couple of years ago, we had players missing, and we thought we was that naive, or Arteta was that naive. I thought I can just go and play the way I always play. Everything will work out fine. We got spanked 4-1. And I think this is where Shane... God, I'm going to struggle to say his name in the entire time he's here. But Shane Steichen needs to learn that, although it's good, going for it and thinking we're going to play our way, we're going to ram it down your throats, we're going to step on your throat, you're not going to breathe, we're just going to keep going and going. You can't do that until you've got the right pieces in play. The Eagles, for example, like they tried doing that last year, and it cost them in the end. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl, which would be nice, but it cost them in the end. But now look at him. And I think he is learning. I think there was another 4th and short he could have gone for, but he went for the points instead, which was a smart choice. I'm happy with that misjudgment because he's a rookie head coach. If he's doing this in a must-win game in week 16 in 2 years' time, and the same outcome happens, that's when I'll start be like, well, hold on a minute, you should have learned your lesson by now. Sometimes, especially when you're paying a kicker big money, just take the points.
Yeah, no, but again, so it's all part of the journey, and I think they've got the right way about it, and I think we're looking good. But and looking towards obviously Sunday, the Jaguars, as I said, we've got beat 10 points before.
Mm-hmm.
Have Zach Moss or JT. So where's your head at for it?
I can't remember my actual prediction for the game just gone, but I think I did say we win, but I don't think it was 23-16. I think I might have predicted closer. I'm going to have to go back and look. But for this game, Jags home turf, we're riding a bit of a hot wave. They have to travel all the way back from London. They've been over here 2 weeks. They're having to travel back and get on schedule in a short week, really, when you think about it. Because they lose. Do they lose the time or the game? I don't know how it works, but it's essentially a short week for them because of having to get back and get unjet lagged and back into routine.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to win this division, now's the time to beat the Jags. I know they've been our kryptonite recently, but if you don't beat them now, when are you going to beat them?
Definitely.
And also, Gardner Minshew going up against his old team, he's got something to prove.
Yeah, he played. I remember him. He came out for a couple of snaps at the end, didn't he? If I remember correctly. But obviously, I don't think I think it was just a couple of handoffs at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was just to get Richardson out of the game, really, more than him coming in, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. But no, I think mate, I'm drinking too much of this positivity juice of yours.
Go on.
I'd say 20 points.
You think we win by 20? I like it. Last week you thought we'd been 31-0, but I'll put that down to you.
Was not here. No one says 31-0.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a bit closer. I'm gonna say Colts 28. Jacksonville 14.
I love that every day of the week.
Last little shout out before we sort of end things here. 2 players who are absolute monsters on this defense. I mean, we know the front 2, the interior 2, we know they're monsters. I don't need to give them any more praise than they deserve. Buck and Grove. I thought Juju Brents, really, really good game. Another cheap flag against him. That was criminal. I think he did well against a very good, very veteran wide receiver in D-Hop.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Zaire Frankenstein, I like to call him. What a monster, especially because it's October. Zaire Franklin. He made Derrick Henry's life miserable in that game. He wasn't scared to meet Derrick Henry in the, I think it was the B gap technically, but because it sounds better, he wasn't scared to make Derrick Henry in the A gap. He said, "All right, 4th and 2, backed up. Let's go for it. This is me and you." Buck helped. Buck got in there, but that was a big hit. And just, I think it was DeForest Buckner dropped back in coverage on one play and absolutely flattened the Titans receiver. I don't know who it was, but
him and Big Grove are having a nice season so far, aren't they?
Yeah. Just last thing. I know I keep saying last thing, but a lot happened, and I'm really happy. can we just finish the play instead of trying to make a play when it comes to sacking the quarterback? Just wrap him up. Just wrap him up. Stop trying to strip the ball. Stop trying to contain it. Just wrap him up and bring him down, please, because I'm getting sick of these quarterbacks escaping.
Yeah.
But like you messaged me, Robbie, there's no straight way to the top of the mountain.
I think that's a great way. There is no straight journey to the top of the mountain. It's going to be up and down.
We're not even at the base camp yet.
Yeah.
So, but it feels like we have not a good team. We just have a team that wants to be there.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like they want to get the fans off the seat. The fans are responding nicely. Anything from you, Robbie, before we end this?
No, mate. Just I'm enjoying being positive for once.
Yeah, being positive for once is nice. Anyway, thanks so much for everyone for watching. Mikey, thank you for joining as always. Nathan, nice to see you on the show. Like I said, the website is coming. I do promise. I will get it here. It's just taking a little time to build. But no, Robbie, it's good to be back. It's good to be back at home because being back at home means home wins for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's bring on the Jags.
Good man. See you later, buddy.
See you later.